Welcome to my series of Chinese horror movies explained. In a country where horror movies are heavily regulated and censored, filmmakers need to find a clever way to get around regulations. And in this series, I explore how they did it. If you like this and are interested in seeing more, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you know of a Chinese horror film you want me to look at, leave a comment below. And an obvious warning that this is pretty much a spoiler-filled video. Watch at your own peril. In this episode, we look at the 2017 horror suspense film Frightening Embroidery Shoes, directed by Junlin Wang, who I don't know too much about, and starring Yixuan He, Hanzhou Liu, Korea's Kim Tae-gwan, and Xinyu Zhao. Horror production house Film Moon's 2017 slate continues with this horror movie, which is more of a mystery suspense movie than a full-on horror film like their previous titles, Marionette Teacher and Haunted Graduation Photo. Being a Film Moon movie, straight away my thoughts were, well, this is going to be another face-swapping movie, but strap yourself in, this is something different. But not wildly different. The movie starts with a decent horror sequence, and even the promise of nudity, which we all know was never going to happen. We're introduced to Wen, walking in a forest when she runs into a woman who gets out of a bathtub to hand her some embroidered shoes. She then sees a ghost. She wakes up in a so-called hospital. I say so-called because I've been to a hospital in China and there were people everywhere. In this movie, there's no one other than Wen. It's here where we are first shown her boyfriend Peng Han is concerned about her and wants to make sure she is taking her medication. Now I know what you're thinking, it's the medication. That's the key to the explanation here. Well, you'd be kind of right. The movie makes an obvious point early on of establishing Wen having a mental illness, which we all know will explain her seeing the ghosts.
我来吧。
But that's not exactly what's going on here. Wen notices a painting and is then told a scary story from Auntie Liu, the housekeeper, about Shu Sha. She was an actress turned concubine who had an illicit affair which resulted in the birth of a child. She was killed, and the child was turned into a servant. Shu Sha is the woman in the painting, and is also the same ghost that Wen keeps seeing everywhere. Peng Han brings home Zhao Jie, a young girl who is supposedly a friend of Wen.
周杰怎么来了？
碰上了，非要来。
你没跟他说我得什么病吧？
没有，只是说你不舒服。
周杰只是美院谭教授的助理，我跟他没有什么交集。
人都来了，你说怎么办？总不能现在让我把他送走吧？
It becomes clear that there's something going on between them, as they seem to be very keen to ensure Wen takes her medication. So explanation 1, and I'm getting this one out early, is that Wen is force-fed fake medication whose side effects are causing several hallucinations and mental illness. But, there's another character, Wen's brother, Lin.
Wow, cool.
He lives in America and has come to China to ensure his sister takes ownership of the house they are living in. We know he's from America because he speaks gibberish for English.
Hey, excuse me, is there a network here? 你们在讨论什么呢？我怎么一句都听不懂？
And wears a puffer jacket with the name Istanbul on it. You know, the capital of Turkey. This house belongs to their recently departed grandmother, who is suspected of killing herself. Now let's talk about this house. This is what it looks like from the outside. And this is what it looks like from the inside. They are clearly not the same house. The outside is definitely some kind of block of units, whereas the inside is an extravagant mansion with very dusty floors. And a heads up, in another horror movie we will look at in this series, this house makes another appearance, with a completely different exterior. Pan Heng has been feeding An Wen fake medication in the attempt to make her crazy and kill herself. Thus, he would end up with the house which he could use to sell and move to America with his pregnant lover, Zhao Jie. But the housekeeper, Auntie Lu, is having none of this.
就是想先杀了你，然后在一起。
怀孕了。
我知道。
She's actually the daughter of Shusha, the woman destined to be a servant her whole life. She is sick of being a servant, so she turns Pan Heng's plan against him and tries to kill everyone for revenge. So there's explanation number 2. The housekeeper is after revenge. As I mentioned, this stops becoming a horror movie about halfway through, which is common with most Chinese horror films, and it turns into a thriller mystery whodunit type movie. There isn't a lot of redeeming quality to this film. Just look at this terrible shot. What is going on here? And who did the special effects? The script is terrible. The translation is poor.
秀霞就是我经常看见的那个女鬼。她今天把我领到了河边，差点淹死我。
对了，你可以带我去能够有网络的地方吗？
啊？
如果可以的话，我现在就去拿包。
And the acting? Well, that's even worse.
奶奶是你吗？我是安文啊。
This is a tough one to recommend to even lovers of shitty movies. Watch out for our next horror movie explained, where we will take a look at the really awesomely titled Ghost Hospital. But I can promise you, probably not going to be that good. Subscribe to ensure you get an alert when it comes out. Thank you for watching.